create this day-long strategy on August 19th, where we're going to be creating content. Here comes the tricky part, on your social media channel, on your Facebook channel, to support your efforts from 6 p.m. on the 19th to 6 p.m. on the 20th. We're going to do that using a tool called Switcher Studio. Switcher Studio is an application that allows me to, as the producer, to create some sophisticated live video. This is what I've done for several years with the folks in Louisville, which I've got their hat on here. Also with San Antonio, Columbia, South Carolina, York, Pennsylvania, and St. Louis. So Switcher Studio, it's basically, in layman's terms, it's a fancy Zoom. Is going to be the best way for me to describe it to you. Basically, what you're going to do is exactly what you're doing here today, by setting up your webcam, making sure your audio is okay, setting up where you have a nice background. Like I see Janeline's got the, I don't know what that machine is behind her. She's got like a 3D printer or something cool, right? So same exact principle, right? That what we're going to do, and you guys each got your time slot this morning from Leslie. So you know when you're going to be on. My job here in this next 20 minutes is to answer all the remaining questions that you guys have. The first and biggest one is going to be, how do I join in? What are we doing? It's not a Zoom room. It's going to be a Switcher Studio room. So I'm going to share a couple of my screens here to actually show you how we do this. First, I'm going to share my iPhone screen here. So what you're going to receive from me, or maybe from Leslie, you're going to receive from one of us a link, and you're going to receive this link closer to the Amazing Give. So you won't have it yet. Now, I need you to bear with me, because showing, maybe you've done something like this before, showing something that you're doing on video while you're also on video on Zoom can get a little bit confusing, but just bear with me here. This is exactly the interface that you're going to see when you get this link. You can join the Zoom room, or I'm sorry, the Switcher room from any device that has a connected camera and a microphone. So you can do it on your phone. You can do it on your iPad, which I have here next to me. You can do it from your laptop. It doesn't have to be an iOS device. It can be an Android. You just have to have a camera and a microphone. So I believe Leslie is already in the room on her device. So when I hit join room, this is exactly what you guys are going to do on the 19th. First of all, that thing that says remote camera mode, you want to make sure that just leave it be. Do not switch it on. You want it to stay off. Click join room. And hopefully this won't break too many things here. But I should see, Leslie, do you see me? Okay. So now, and I see Leslie. So we're basically just in a room with each other. And all you're going to need to do as a guest is set up this camera so that it looks the same way that you might ordinarily look on a Zoom meeting. You'll make sure that you have your headphones in at some point. So whether it's your AirPods or whatever earphones came with your device, you can use that. If you've got fancy ones like me, you can feel free to use more fancy stuff too. Whatever you got is going to work just fine. And what we're going to do, essentially, is I'm basically going to interview you. So there's me, right? You can see Leslie's showing, so you're seeing kind of what that looks like from the guest perspective. And Leslie, if you turn your phone horizontally, you might actually see me a little bit better there. There you go. So that is what you will see as a guest in the Switcher room. Ultimately, that's all you really need to know. Come on in. Enjoy the green M&Ms that I'll set up for you in the room for you. And you'll basically have about a 5-minute conversation with me, or possibly Leslie or Barzella, but probably me during that time period. We're going to want you to join in the room. And Leslie, I'm going to leave the room here. We're going to want you to join in the room 5 minutes before your time slot. So if you were on at 2:30, I would like you to be there at 2:25. If you're on at 10 a.m., I'd like you to be there at 9:55, not 9:50 and not 10:01, because it is a very precise sort of system that we are setting up where you guys saw the whole list. We're going to be interviewing people in sequence all day long. And so timeliness is godliness. Whatever phrase you want to use would be helpful to remember, to be there 5 minutes before, not 10 minutes before, and not on the hour. Leslie asked me to show you guys, and I promise we're going to leave plenty of time for your questions, but I want to try and answer them before we get there. So I'm going to share another screen of mine. I'm going to share my iPad screen with you here. My screen there here. So if you wanted to see more examples of what this might look like from your end and what the content, the finished product will look like, the 3 giving days that I have worked so far this year are with the St. Louis Community Foundation, which I'm going to show you an example here in a second, Give Local York, which is the name of their Facebook page. And then the third one that I did was Midlands Gives, but that one looks a little bit different. So if you wanted to look up the St. Louis Community Foundation and look at the various videos that we did all day long on May the 7th, there's a ton of examples in here. It's the same idea. These videos are going to be a little bit longer than what we're going to be doing with you because we're doing more organizations on the 19th. But if you wanted to see an example of one here, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you can see we essentially just have a split screen. I'm able to put your name and your affiliation on the screen as well. I'm also able to, in theory, show an image that you want to maybe send to me in advance. So really what we're doing at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're creating a series of interviews across your, I just said series and Siri was like, well, yes, can I help you? Not you, Siri, a series of content throughout the course of the day. And we are doing this in advance of the start of the Amazing Give because we want to help build that momentum for you to attract your donors to come in and bring more attention to whatever content you are going to be creating from 6 p.m. on the 19th to 6 p.m. on the 20th. Our goal is to create this content on your Facebook page, which will require you to make me an admin on your Facebook page so that I am able to create content temporarily directly onto your page in real time. The reason we want to do these videos live is part of the same reason why, let me stop sharing again here. The reason why we want to create these videos live, again, it's a timely thing. We're creating them the morning of the 19th into the afternoon of the 19th in advance of the giving day. So that's one big reason. The other big reason is the same reason why I like doing live video in the first place, which is it's just easier to broadcast it directly to Facebook than it is to actually create content and then figure out how and when to upload it later. So it is our strong recommendation that we create this content live on your Facebook page with you. However, if you, for some reason, have very strong reservations against this idea, what we will also be offering is the opportunity to just come in the room, record it, not live, and then someone on Leslie's team is going to get that video to you as quickly as we can possibly turn it around. Keeping in mind that I will be recording something like 30 of these in a row. So you may not get it immediately, but we will do our best to get it to you before 6 p.m. and before the Amazing Give actually starts. So that's the premise. Again, this is what I do. I call myself the Giving Day Guy. You can go to givingdayguy.com and read about all the other giving days that I've worked with. I spoke this week at the Neon One conference, which is like the primary competitor to GiveGab. I've worked with a number of GiveGab giving days around the US before. So this is what I do. I'm also a Forbes contributor and have written a couple books and stuff. So if you're like, man, should I trust this guy to create content on my Facebook page? I hope so, because I'm a nice guy and I'm not going to do anything bad, I promise. Like, this is my job and I don't want to get fired. So that is why we are asking for temporary access to your Facebook page. Leslie, what am I forgetting?
Sure. So I want to do a quick summary, maybe get some head nods from people to make sure that we're all understanding.
Head nods would be good. I like head nods. I like head nods.
So I'm going to kind of do a quick summary, make sure everybody's on the same page. So you've done the first thing, you've registered for a time slot and you've received your time slot. The second thing is you soon, and you can wait until a few days for the giving day, you need to add Chris as an admin on your Facebook page. And then you will be receiving a link from the Community Foundation and or Chris that is what you need to click 5 minutes before your time slot. And then that will put you into the room to create the video. Head nods that all of that summarizes it up. There is a little bit more. I see some head nods. And then Chris,
let me pause you for 1 second real quick, Leslie.
Sure.
The link that you're going to receive, you will receive that probably 24 to 36 hours before all of this happens. And you will be able to go in and test out the room on your own. You saw how simple it was that Leslie and I both just pressed join room. So you will be able to join in there. The quick technical thing is you need to make sure that you actually exit the room when you're done, because there are only 4 spots in the room. And so if Margot joins in the room and she does her thing and then she just walks away, that holds a spot for somebody else. And it's not like Zoom where I can boot you out. So that is why we handle the room with care. And you will be able to test joining the room before the Amazing Give and before this 5-minute period. Go ahead, Leslie.
No, that's great. So if all of that makes sense, and we'll open up for questions in just a minute, but we will have, if you, Chris, we want to briefly touch on if you have content like a photo that you, or something that you want to share. And before I go that far, the logistics of it connecting to your Facebook page is on Chris. So as long as Chris is an admin on your page, you're not worried about going live and clicking this link. All you're doing is clicking the link. So it's not as complicated as it sounds. Chris does the complicated part. And so if you do have pictures, Chris, do you want to chat about that really quick? If you have photos or anything you want to add while you guys are talking in your interview?
Yep. So here's what we're going to do. Like I said, this is the 4th time that I've done an approach like this with other giving days. You can check out what all those videos look like in those other community Facebook pages. So this is tried and true. But what we're going to do differently this time is Leslie is going to set up a Dropbox link for you. She's going to create an individual folder with your nonprofit's name on it, that if you would like to add an image or maybe 2 images that we can show on the screen while we're having this conversation, brief conversation, then we can do that. You will upload those, and Leslie will include that deadline in the email that she sends out with that link. It will be not too far before the Amazing Give, but I would please ask you to respect that deadline, as it is challenging for me to adjust things at the very last minute. So if you can, when you get that email, I see Margot's nodding her head. It would just be really helpful if I got those assets from you by the deadline. And if you please just say, okay, this deadline is important, that would be good. So we will get that to you in an email. Just remember, again, we'll have maybe 5 to 7 minutes to chat max. We're not going to be able to show 100 different pictures, but hopefully this will give you some ideas as to how you might be able to do that on video during the Amazing Give after we're done chatting.
So Chris, we're getting a few questions in the chat about how do they add you as an admin? So if they look up Chris Strub on Facebook and type it in the chat, they should be able to find you.
just type in Chris Strub, find the good looking one, and you'll be fine. You can use my, that was a joke, guys. I'm trying. It's 2020. You can also use my email address, which I will put in the chat. It's chrisstrub@gmail.com. chrisstrub@gmail.com.
And Chris, do you
I
want
will tell you
now. Do you want them to add you now? When's the best time for them to add you?
You can, if you want to add me now, that's fine. Like I said, I absolutely promise you, I'm probably an admin on a gajillion Facebook pages. I have no intention of doing anything on your Facebook page. I'm not collecting data. I'm not like, there's none of this stuff. We're only doing this for the purpose of me being able to share to your page. So if you wanted to wait till the last minute, that's totally fine too. But in order for me to be able to broadcast directly to your page, I will need to be, I think I need to actually be an admin to be able to load that into Switcher Studio. But
do you need
like
to be
I said,
admin or editor? What level do you need to be on their page?
If you want to talk for another 30 seconds while I double check that, Leslie, I will look and see. I know that admin works.
So for those that don't know, when you add someone as an administrator, you can give them different levels of being an admin or an editor. And so, so Chris is going to look that up really quick. We have one more question.
I'm checking on that really quick.
And so Cheryl asked if we have to be on, Cheryl, if you have to be on a computer or cell phone, you can be on any device as long as it has video capability. And so you can be on your cell phone, you can do it on your laptop, and that email will be, the link will be emailed to you. So wherever you can click that link from. Yes, you can use a virtual background. Can you confirm that, Chris, if they want to use some type of virtual background on their screen?
So, no. Switcher is actually just going to use the camera on your device. So it's, unfortunately, virtual backgrounds are not a thing that you can do right now, but I promise your background, whatever it is going to be wonderful. If you watched the How to Be a Great Virtual Guest video that Leslie sent over this morning, and if you didn't, no big deal, but if you want to check that out before the 17th, I offer a lot of great tips on how to have a great atmosphere for your video. And most nonprofits do an awesome job with it.
And so we got a question. Chris is the one in the yellow hat in his profile picture for those of you looking for him.
That's me.
And then we did get a question about, do you only want images for Dropbox or can it be a video?
If you send over a video, I can do the best that I can to try and get it played. If it's 30 seconds, I'll do the very best that I can to get it in there. So if you include a video, we can do that. We'd love for it to be amazing give specific video would be super awesome, but not necessarily required. So yeah, the one thing that doesn't really, it's not really necessary is your logo. A lot of people say, a lot of people in the spring sent me their logo. Can you send me the logo? I would much rather you see the logo. First of all, you're going to be representative of your logo by speaking and being there. But I'd also rather see, again, maybe you might not have a step and repeat, or you might not even have access to your office. But if you have like a shirt that has your logo on it, or a hat, or you've got a sign that you can put up next to you. I had a girl put a coffee mug in the frame that had her logo on it. Something like that is going to be a lot better than sending me your logo because it's going to come across as real and authentic.
And so, Chris, we've gotten some questions now. Went to this one really quick. Headphones, you don't necessarily have to have them. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Is that correct? Using headphones.
Headphones, whatever you're comfortable with is going to work. I would add, even if you don't have headphones, you certainly don't need this sort of style. Just the little AirPods or the little, the plug-in buds to your phone work just fine. Okay, so, but something, the way I would answer that, Leslie, is that something is better than nothing. So even if you just have some kind of headphones that you can plug in, it's going to enhance the audio experience for everyone.
Yes, I mean, there seems to be some confusion about what the videos are like. And so there's questions about what kind of questions or interview you're asking. So the video is really yours as the nonprofit, not Chris. And so Chris is there to help facilitate your message. And so I think it'd be helpful to watch some of those videos, so Chris can talk more to that.
The other thing that will help address that a little bit, one, I want you to pretend like I am a potential donor. Pretend like I'm some, one of the biggest benefits of a giving day in general, including the Amazing Give, of course, is the propensity to find and identify new donors. So my job as the giving day guy, this is kind of why I got into this in the first place, is to sort of be that representative voice of someone who's encountering your organization for the first time, which means, first of all, we're creating this as a promotional piece for you, but also you would imagine me being someone who's meeting you maybe at a cocktail party, who's asking you kind of like, hey, what's your organization about? What do you do? The second piece on that, Leslie, is that in the form that each of you filled out, I included a field that was like, hey, what do you want to talk about? So as I prep for each one of your conversations, I'm going to look back at the way that you filled out that form, and I'm going to ask you a question that's really specific to what it is that your organization is about. So yeah, I should put the, I'll put the URL, Margot, in the chat here, facebook.com/St. Louis gives/videos. Some are better than others. Keep in mind that these videos are longer than what we're going to be doing with you. So when you see 18 minutes, 12 minutes, 17 minutes, like that's because we had the time structured a little bit differently and we did fewer nonprofits. With Leslie, we agreed that it was very important for us to be able to take on everyone who raised their hand. I think that's a really special thing that we're able to, like, if you wanted to be part of this, you're going to be part of it, and that's why we're timing things the way that we are. So I put in the link to St. Louis Gives, and I'll put in the other one too. It's www.facebook. So I'll put in Give Local York as well.
And Chris, another question was, can you interview more than one person from the organization if they're together?
We can interview someone from the same organization if they're together or even if they're not together. So when we talk about using the I keep saying the Zoom room because I'm looking right at Zoom, but it's the switcher room. We can actually fit up to 4 people in the room at the same time. Leslie may or may not be in one of those seats. I will always be in one of the seats because I'm doing the producing, and I'll probably also be the host. Leslie will probably cover me when I'm downing a sandwich or something at some point, but Leslie will be part of the process as well. But that leaves at least 2 other seats available. So if your president and your communications director want to be part of it, in theory, we can bring both of you guys in. Just also remember, again, it's only going to be a couple minutes, so we may only get you 1 or 2 questions a piece. So if you want to be together in frame, same process, we can do it that way. Or if you are, physically distancing and 2 people from your organization want to do it from home, I can accommodate that as well. I just need to know who is going to be there in advance. Like, don't throw me a curveball and bring in someone that I'm not expecting, because I'm creating those little nameplates that appear on the screen. And so I really want to know, like, if you tell me it's going to be Paul that's going to be there, like, if I'm expecting Paul and it's not Paul, I'm going to be like, who are you? You know what I mean? So just at least give me the courtesy to let me know if there's going to be multiple people there. Shireen asked about the dress code, business casual. Like, could we do a collage in place of one image? Yeah, you could do a collage. That's fine. You could do something like that. That's cool. The dress code, be yourself. Hopefully you can see I'm just being myself. It looks like everybody here is also just being themselves. So just pretend like you're doing, a quick interview. I am not in any way a formal type of guy. That's kind of the shtick, is like, let's just be friends and, talk about things. By the way, if you need to add me as a friend on Facebook to add me as an admin, you can do that too. I saw a couple of you guys already added me as an admin, which is fine. So you should be able to do that even without it. But like, seriously, like, let's just be friends. Like, it's 2020. Like, I have very few friends to begin with anyway. And then when there's a pandemic, like, everything gets worse. So I want to say thank you guys for agreeing to participate. Really, this isn't, it's not more complicated than I'm making it out to be. Like, you're going to talk to me for 5 minutes about your organization, and I'm going to make you look good, and we'll show a picture or 2 if you want. And if you want to bring your boss in along too, so that they can look good too, then let's do that. And then we'll move on to the next one, and we'll go raise a whole bunch of money during the Amazing Give from 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. So That's really all it is, Leslie. I mean, that's, we want people to get a deeper understanding of what your organization is, what you're about. We also hope to secondarily make all of you feel more comfortable creating video during the Amazing Give, which will only help support both your organization and others that are participating in this Giving Day.
So we had one final question, Chris. It says, is there a way to include this on Twitter, Instagram, or other social media posts?
So yeah, what I would do, great question, Paul, is to, I might say the day before or the morning of or whatever, like, hey, we'll be live on Facebook at 10:30 a.m. Come check it out here, and put a link to your Facebook page on Twitter. Secondarily, you could say something similar to that on Instagram or on your Instagram story. And then after the fact, we'd love for you to download the video. And if you wanted to post a clip of it onto Twitter or onto Instagram, that's 1 million bonus points for you, So we're creating this content for your purposes. It will belong to you. It was very important for Leslie to say that we really want to support the nonprofits and your efforts as much as we possibly can. And that's why we're doing it this way. We want to create content that's going to bring the most benefit to you. And so it's your content, it belongs to you. And the last thing I would say, Paul, is if you tag me on Twitter, I will happily retweet it to my 17,000 Twitter followers. So at Chris Streb on Twitter, and make sure you use the hashtag #TheAmazingGive as well.
Perfect. Well,
I see some nodding heads. This is good.
We got there. We got some nodding heads. Well, thank you all. And Chris has his email. Feel free to email me. You'll hear from us in the next day or so with the Dropbox link, so that you can start uploading any images that you want. But in the meantime, reach out to us. Here, I do have a quick Amazing Give announcement.